What is happening, guys? My name is Jamie and welcome to Discovery Albums I've Heard in July. You know what? The new original content, of course, as we are producing some more original content on the channel. And you know what? I am just going to tell you guys the albums I have explored in July. See, it's not just only my reaction channel that I listen to music. I listen to music all the time. I do night shift. 5 days a week in a row, so I listen to a hell of a lot of music. It could be could be from the bands that I've reacted to on this channel. But yeah, I listen to a lot of music, and me and my mate, we swap albums now and again and say, hey, you listen to this, or I listen to this, and we just share each other's music. But yeah, so I listen to a hell of a lot of music. And this is a spin-off of Discovery. There's not going to be any reactions. So I'm basically going to tell you what I've listened to, well, this month. And first off is none other than Alcest and their album Ikalis de Lune. What an amazing album this is. Very atmospheric. His vocals are absolutely amazing throughout this album. I did react to one song from this album called Pesses de Lumiere, and that was an amazing song. But the self-titled track Part 1 and Part 2, absolutely amazing atmospheric song. Got those harsh vocals in the distance, but then they work along, incorporating with a nice clean production throughout this album. So this was a very enjoyable album to listen to. I would rate it a high, I'd probably rate it a high 8, but it was a very enjoyable album. So the next album was In Dreams and Time by Ancestors. Yeah, this is an album that, I've listened to it once and I've listened to it twice. This is an album that doesn't really grow on me, unfortunately. I don't know, it doesn't really grow on me. I'd suppose the best song is On the Wind. I think that's with that epic guitar solo. But yeah, First Light's an enjoyable song. It's about 20 minutes. But yeah, this album didn't really gel with me, unfortunately. But there was still some enjoyable moments. At times I didn't really enjoy his vocals. And so I didn't really enjoy that album In Dreams and Time. So to me, I'd probably give it a high 5. Alright, so the next album was Cradle of Filth, Cryptoriani's Seductiveness of Decay. Their latest album, Cradle of Filth, an absolutely amazing band. You're going to see a lot of Cradle of Filth on this episode, because I have explored the shit out of this band on my own time, and it's such a fantastic band overall. Loving the atmospheric vibe you're getting throughout this album. It's very gothic sort of themed as well. You could say this is sort of a concept album. I just absolutely love it. Love Danny's vocals throughout this song. Loving the epic feel. Probably my favorite song is Heartbreak and Seance, along with Achingly Beautiful. And Ventral Spirit's a beautiful one, and Wester Vespertine. Fantastic songs overall. Absolutely love this band. I'm actually going to the concert next month. Next month, in September. So honestly, I cannot wait for that. The next album was Opeth Ghost Reveries. Yeah, so I have done a lot. I basically reacted a whole album, Opeth Ghost Reveries, and a very enjoyable album, I gotta say. It is an enjoyable album. I may have been a bit harsh with atonement, but it's a very enjoyable album. My favorite songs from this album was Reverie Harlequin Forest and The Baying of the Hounds and Beneath the Mire. Absolutely fantastic songs. Just loving the chord progression throughout these songs, and overall very enjoyable album. Very sort of creates that atmosphere. Michael's vocals are just absolutely incredible. Incorporates his harsh and clean vocals exceptionally well. And overall, it's a fantastic Opeth album. I'd probably give it a high 8. So the next album was Abath Outstrider. So Abath Outstrider is Abath is a black metal band. A very enjoyable black metal band. I've listened to this album a few times. My favorite songs would be Harvest Pyre and Scyfinder. a very enjoyable black metal band, and I really enjoy the atmospheric vibe they are delivering to the listener throughout some of these songs. But yeah, a very enjoyable album. Outstrider is a killer self-titled track, and Sci-Find is an amazing song as well. I'm gonna say this album does grow on you, so I'd probably give it a high 7. Okay, so the next album was Anathema Weather Systems. So when I reacted to Untouchable Part 1 and Untouchable Part 2, I had to check out the whole album myself, and you know what guys, I was pleasantly surprised. So my favorite songs off this album was none other than Untouchable, but then it was The Storm Before the Calm, a very enjoyable song. I just loving how melodic it is, how very atmospheric it is. It's quite doomy, you could say, and I love the progressive elements throughout the songs. Internal Landscapes is an amazing song as well. I'd give it around 9 because this was a very enjoyable album. So the next album was none other than the Dream Theater self-titled album. Yeah, so I actually reacted to this album on the channel. A very enjoyable album by Dream Theater. Yeah, very enjoyable. So my favorite songs off this album were The Enemy Inside, The Looking Glass, Enigma Machine, The Bigger Picture, Surrender to Reason, and Illumination Theory. Absolutely fantastic. The way it closes with Illumination Theory, Dream Theater learnt that an epic for the last song was the case, unlike a dramatic turn of events where it had an epic and then it had a ballad. So I love this album, I really do. I'd give this a 9 to be honest. I really did enjoy it. I love James LaBrie's vocals, love how Petrucci shines in this album. Overall, the mixing was a bit strange in my opinion, but you get used to the mixing. And this is a very enjoyable album. Countless listens. I've listened to this album about 16 times. I absolutely love it. So the next album was Operation Mindcrime, one of the best concept albums I have ever heard in my life. Yeah, this is definitely up to be one of the best concept albums I've heard. I love it. I love the overall story. I just love how you have a protagonist called Nikki that wakes up, tries to remember everything, but then you get a flashback where you have this crazy mind controller Dr. X that creates this revolution and orders Nikki to be part of it. And Dr. X orders Nikki to shoot politicians, to shoot wealthy people in order to eradicate the fascists. Comes Father William and Sister Mary, and Sister Mary grows closer to Nikki because Dr. X orders Mary to feed drugs to Nikki because Nikki's got that heroin addiction. But Nikki falls really close to Sister Mary, and Dr. X sees that and says, "You kill Mary and you kill Father William." So Nikki kills Father William, but Sister Mary and Nikki fall in love with each other. Mary convinces Nikki, to tell Dr. X to leave the organization, to leave the revolution, but it looks like to me that Dr. X actually may have killed Mary in order to get to Nikki in the worst way possible, to take away the thing that he loved the most. And from then Nikki goes absolutely out of control. It's one of the best concept albums I've ever heard in my life, and I give that a 10. Speak was definitely a song that grew on me, but my favorite would probably Operation Mindcrime, spreading the disease and the mission, and none other than Sweet Sister Mary, a very enjoyable album by Queensryche. So the next album was Nymphetamine, Cradle of Filth. Oh, what an enjoyable album. Yeah, definitely not the best Cradle of Filth album I've heard, but you got songs like Gilded Cunt, Nemesis, Gabrielle, and Nymphetamine Overdose. Nymphetamine Overdose is a fantastic song. I don't know why they had to put Nymphetamine Fix, to be honest, because basically it's the same song within Nymphetamine Overdose. So I don't understand why they had to put Nymphetamine Fix as well, because basically it's the same song. And Nymphetamine Overdose is more depth and more heavier, and although it also contains Nymphetamine Fix, I don't understand why they put 14. But anyway, Danny's vocals are fantastic. I love Nemesis. I really did enjoy Nemesis. And Gilded Cunt was a fantastic song as well. Dirty little gold digger, dirty little gold digger, dirty little gold digger. Yeah, they cunt. So the next album was Empath by Devin Townsend. Devin Townsend, Empath, a very enjoyable album. I love it. I really did. I just love how epic these songs are, but also how crazy and genre switched these songs are as well. Devin Townsend's vocals are just fantastic. I'll be providing a full album review as well for this album, but damn, very enjoyable. My favorites would obviously be Genesis and Why Was So Weird, but I loved Borderlands as well, and Singularity, no doubt. But then you have this too, which contains The Conjuring King, my favorite, and Empath. They're all demo versions, but they rule as well. So it was a very enjoyable album. Probably give this a 9 or 8. So next album was Peace Sells But Who's Buying by Megadeth. Yeah, an album that really grew on me. Like, I listened to the first time, I said, yeah, this is alright. But repeated listens, it was an enjoyable album. I'd probably push it higher to 8 now. I wouldn't go any further. Like, it is a really enjoyable album. I love Good Morning Black Friday. I love Dave Mustaine's vocals in this. The Conjuring's a good song as well. The Wake Up Dead. Peace Sells, an amazing song. I really enjoyed My Last Words. My Last Words and Band Omen were fantastic songs. So then we move on to Sabaton the Great War. Yeah, so I checked this out 2 weeks ago. It's an enjoyable album. It is an enjoyable album, but it's just a generic album in my opinion. That's my honest truth. Great War is a grower, Great War, but my favorites would probably be Fields of Verdun and Ghost in the Trenches. They are fantastic songs, but it just ends with such a weird vibe as well, In Flanders Fields. But yeah, overall, it was an enjoyable album. Listen to it a few times. It's an energetic album, gets you in the mood as well. But I'd probably give this a 5, to be honest. Okay, so the next album was Magla and their song Exercises in Futility. Yeah, so this was a really enjoyable album, to be honest. 6 tracks, about 40 minutes. It's supposed to be one song, and it's black metal. I'm going to say, yeah, it's black metal. It's very enjoyable. Loving the chord progression. I've heard this a few times now. Chord progression throughout the song. Loving the blast splits as well. And it's a great 40 minutes of fun. So the next album was none other than Death, Scream, Bloody Gore. Oh, this album is absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I really did. Chuck's vocals are just absolutely insane. When he says, sacrificial cunt, sacrificial cunt. I love that. I love Sacrificial. But overall, Zombie Ritual is a great song. Mutilation, Baptized in Blood, Scream, Bloody Gore. I love that as well. But yeah, so overall, it was a very enjoyable album. Probably give this an 8 or 9 maybe. In repeated listens, it does really grow on you with this album. Amazing album. Chuck's vocals are absolutely insane. Loving the intricate guitar work you're getting throughout this album, along with the awesome guitar riffs. So the next album that I checked out was none other than Damnation a Day by Cradle of Filth. Well, this is a concept album, and this is all about Satan or Lucifer getting thrown or getting closer to God and ordering his army and everything like that, and then all of a sudden getting damned from heaven. Overall, a very enjoyable concept album. Symphonic elements, a lot of strong orchestral feels, but I loved it. I really love it. I love Better Rain in Hell, Serpent Tongue, Carry On. Mannequin, an amazing song Mannequin is. Thank God for the Suffering. Thank God for the Suffering. Love that. But overall, An Enemy Led the Tempest. Very enjoyable song, very enjoyable songs. Hard to understand the lyrics, but it's a concept album. Definitely all about the religious views, how Lucifer was cast from heaven and everything like that. So it was a very enjoyable album. So yeah, I'd probably give this a 9. A very enjoyable. Danny's vocals are just fantastic in this. So the next album again was Cradle of Filth, Darkly, Venus Aversa. A very enjoyable album again by Cradle of Filth. I loved it. Really did. My favorites I love Forgive Me Father, I Have Sinned. Forgive me Father, for I have sinned. I love that. Yeah, Danny's vocals really change throughout some of these songs. Very sort of incorporates those cleaner vocals. That's really cool. I love it. Really enjoyed The Cult of Venus Aversa. So damn heavy and gritty. And The Mistress from the Sucking Pit, an amazing song as well. Behind the Jagged Mountains. So really enjoyable songs. This album is a very enjoyable album. So I'd give this probably an 8. So the next album again was Cradle of Filth, The Manticore and Other Horrors. One of the least favorite Cradle of Filth albums I've heard. I just feel like that Danny's really holding back throughout this album. Like, he doesn't incorporate those amazing screams you get for a Cradle of Filth album. So yeah, it's one of my least favorite albums, but it was still enjoyable. It's weird. It had this sort of happy guitar vibe throughout this that didn't really fit. Manticore is an alright song. Yeah, Manticore and the Abhorrent is definitely one of my favorite songs. And Death the Great Adventure, but the rest were meh. So this wasn't still an enjoyable album, but I'd probably pass, to be honest. I'd give this a high 6. Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast, a very, very enjoyable album. I loved it. I really did. Children of the Dam, an absolutely amazing song. This is the first Bruce Dickinson album for Iron Maiden. I really did enjoy it. Hallowed Be Thy Name, an amazing song. The Number of the Beast, incredible song as well. 22 Acacia Avenue. This is a fantastic album by Iron Maiden. Absolutely love it. I definitely give this a 9 because this was a really enjoyable album. The Prisoner, a grower, but still a fantastic song. So overall, a very enjoyable album by Iron Maiden, and I absolutely loved it. So the next album was none other than Resist by Within Temptation. So this is a very enjoyable album by Within Temptation. First Within Temptation album I've heard. Love The Reckoning. The Endless War's fantastic. Raise Your Banners is an incredible song as well. I think he's from In Flames. Trophy Hunter, an enjoyable song. Mercy Mirror, I love in the use of the electronic symphonic elements throughout these songs. She's got such beautiful vocals. Really, really rivals Floor Jansen. Supernova is a grower. At first I didn't really enjoy Supernova, but now I do. So I'd probably give this a 7. So the next album I checked out was No World for Tomorrow, Coheed and Cambria. Yeah, so this album is a very fun album. It is a fun album. So probably my favorites be No Word for Tomorrow. I loving that guitar. The Feathers, Running Free, Mother Superior, the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts song. The Fourth House in Atlantic, Radio Bye Bye, The End Complete, The Road and Damned, and On the Brink. All amazing songs. On the Brink is such an epic closer to end this album. No Word for Tomorrow. A very enjoyable album. I'll probably give this a 7 or 8. A very enjoyable album. I loved it. Listened to it a few times. So the next album I checked out was Stone's Reach by Be'lakor. Yeah, so I saw these guys live a year or two ago. They were opening for another band. And I really enjoyed them, so I wanted to explore myself and everything like that. And my mate requested this album for me to check it out. And I did. So Venator was a fantastic song. I love Countless Skies, an epic closer to the album. Overall, this is a very death metal based album. It's a very fun album as well. From Scythe to Scepter, an amazing song as well. Loving the guitar solos throughout this album. Loving how epic this album feels. So it's a very enjoyable album. I really did enjoy it. I'd give this an 8 or 9. But it's just 1 hour of just death metal fun. Vocals really remind me from Johan Haig from Amon Amarth. But that's a very good sign though. It's a very enjoyable album by Be'lakor. I'll definitely be checking out some more of these guys. Next album was Classic 78. So when I did the KISS tier ranking, one of my subscribers said, have you heard of Classic? I said, no, I haven't heard a classic. So I checked them out, and holy crap, they sound like Kiss. They absolutely sound like Kiss, except it's their own original content, which is so damn enjoyable. I loved it. I really did. I love all their songs. It sounds like Kiss. It's just absolutely amazing. From the 70s, Kiss from the 70s. It's just a fantastic band they are. They sound like Kiss. I love Mean Business, Passion, Love, Rock and Roll You, World on Fire, American Made, Hot on Her Feels, just fantastic songs. So the next album I checked out was Iced Earth, Burnt Offerings. Very enjoyable album, Burnt Offerings. Dante's Inferno is the classic that closes this album. I absolutely love that song. But Burnt Offerings is an enjoyable song. Last December as well, The Diary. One song I didn't really enjoy was The Pure Spirit. That was sort of it was weird. I didn't really enjoy Create a Failure as well, but Burning Oasis was fun. Brainwash was enjoyable. So this was a very enjoyable album. Probably still give this an 8. If it wasn't Dante's Inferno, to be honest, probably give it a 6. But thank God Dante's Inferno lifted this album up. So it was a very enjoyable album by Iced Earth. Dimmerburger, Puritanical, Euphoric, Misanthropia. Yeah, look, so this album was enjoyable. I love the build up of the album, especially the instrumental, Fear and Wonder. Blessings Upon the Throne of Tyranny, a fantastic song. And then Architecture, Genocidal Nature, enjoyable song. Indoctrination, a very good song. One thing I didn't like was the title track, Puritania. I didn't like that. It was weird, to be honest. But overall, it was a very enjoyable album. Probably give this a 6.5 or 7. There are some flaws on this album. Like I didn't really enjoy those cleaner vocals. The clean vocals in some parts didn't fit the songs. But yeah, overall, it was still a very enjoyable album. The next album I checked out was none other than the Thyardes Murder Human Target. Like I did a review for Thyardes Murder on Review Nation, a very enjoyable album. It's very heavy, it's deathcore, death metal based. Welcome Oblivion, Eternal Suffering, my favourite songs. Eye for an Eye is an also enjoyable song. I've listened to this album about 15 times. A very enjoyable album. But yeah, New Gods is an enjoyable song. Human Target, Death Squad Anthem, like these are all very enjoyable songs. I'm loving how heavy and gritty Eternal Suffering is, and Atonement's enjoyable as well. To close off discovery albums I heard in July was none other than Tool Enema. Oh, this album, so when Sony deleted all my Tool videos, I said, God damn it. There's nothing much I can do about it now. I'm not reacting to Tool anymore on the channel. So I'll be doing reviews and everything. But my mate convinced me, say, hey, since you're not doing Tool on your channel anymore, let's listen to Tool. I want you to listen to Enema, his favorite album. So yeah, we just listened to the album, and it was a very enjoyable album, I gotta say. Stig Fist is amazing. Eulogy is fantastic. H is amazing as well. 46 and 2, all these amazing songs. I loved Hooker with a Penis, that was enjoyable. Push It was enjoyable as well. Maynard is so damn aggressive in this album. And Third Eye, Enema's amazing song as well. What really bothers me is the interludes throughout these songs. I mean, you don't really need so many interludes. I don't like Ions, to be honest. I know it's a build up to Third Eye, but I didn't really enjoy that. And Useful Idiot's a weird interlude as well. So there are some unnecessary interludes. So with that, I'd probably still give it a 9. But it's all over the place in my opinion with the interludes. But yeah, a very enjoyable album. Like Danny's drumming in this is absolutely insane. I loved the album overall. So guys, I think that's all the albums I checked out in July. So you can tell I check out a lot of music, even not on when I'm not even reacting, because I absolutely love music. Already in August, I already got some albums planned I'm going to check out. But guys, if you enjoyed this new spin-off of Discovery, comment down below, and also comment below what albums you checked out as well in July. So keep the discussion going in the comments section below, and I will see you in